I have to admit, I've got something of a predefined notion as to what a pointy click is. You point, you click, you puzzle. That's how it works in my head. There's games which challenge this definition. The old parser-driven quest games spring to mind. You also might make a point for dialogue and verbs too, but Machinarium exists, and even Loom, as far back as that was, they both proved that those weren't necessarily needed. This game here, this is different though. You point and you click, but puzzle? Not so much. And yet, there's still a point to it. This is the Lion Song, created by somebody calling themselves Leaf Thief, who made it for Ludum Dare 30. What's Ludum Dare? A 2-day international game jam where the games are based around a single theme. What's a game jam? It's where you make games in a hyper-short time frame. What's a game? Well, okay, enough of that joke. I can't even remember how I first clapped eyes on it, but clap my eyes did, so here goes. What happens is this. You're Wilma and you're up in the Austrian Alps looking for some peace to compose music. It's not going so well, and the big ass storm outside isn't helping. Suddenly, the phone rings. Pretty standard fare for a horror game, except that this isn't a horror game. Don't know why I brought that up. Anyway, the person on the other end just got a phone and is positively giddy at the prospects of this newfangled technology. Yeah, this is slightly less than modern day, I hope that was obvious. You have a little chat with him and inspiration strikes. Conversation ends, you look around at some things in the cabin and compose for a bit. This happens a few times over the next few days and then the game concludes. Now, there's a reason I'm glossing over just about everything here. There's no puzzles to solve. Multiple ways to play, but no puzzles. You read some dialogue, click a few objects, and the whole thing is over in about 15 minutes. The ending does change though. There's an epilogue which makes that clear. Very much so, actually. The lives of Wilma, her telephone companion, and Wilma's husband seem to change based on these few interactions, and of course, the shape that Wilma's composition takes. Brings to mind the expression, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. It's not a test of your gaming prowess by any means, it's not normally my kind of thing either. Some people have this kind of wanderlust. They get a lot out of open world games or MMOs, that sort of thing. I don't. I mean, the more options you throw at me, the more likely I am to run away. Something like Fallout 3 was a half step from being too much, and the closest I've got to completing something like a Final Fantasy game is being pretty much led through 7 by my friends. And then Sephiroth shoved a sword up me. Fun times. I guess putting this kind of experience into a small contained package means it's less scary, I don't know. It's rare that I'll play through something like a big ass RPG multiple times to see multiple endings, for example. Mass Effect and KOTOR 1 and 2 being notable and suspiciously BioWare related examples. Except for 2, but anyway. I'm definitely interested in seeing multiple outcomes, seeing what effects a branching path will have, but something about it only takes 15 minutes just makes it a lot easier to swallow, a lot easier to jump in, and I'm willing to take that time to do it, put in that effort, for the promise of seeing what happens. I don't need as much of a connection or a love for the game when so little time is needed. Not that I think this is bad, it's just I've spent about half an hour with it total. Love is kind of hard to build up that quickly. So that's a Lion Song. It's available for bugger all, the link's in the description, and it's a bit different. You can see what you think. Or not.